always gardening and prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you out to the shed of many names on this evening, where we're going to talk a little bit about eggshells, y'all. Now, yes, I know I've made one video already about the eggshells, but I have had a whole lot of Owl Family subscribers since that video, and I figured since, well, I'm needing to get these eggs done, that let's just make another video. Now, these eggs have not been washed. I want everything left in the eggs after I crack them. There's one thing you definitely need to do, and that is oven dry them very well. Because if you're not careful and they're not completely dry, there is a chance for salmonella. Not to be paranoid at all. It's a precaution. I see too many people just throwing their raw eggs in their compost, raw eggshells in their compost pile, which there's been many a case of salmonella breaking out in your compost pile. It's not hard to happen, y'all. Not hard at all. And I'm going to turn the camera down just a little bit. Alright. I see a lot of people just go along and crush their eggs like that, their eggshells, and work them in to your compost or your garden soil. Well, guess what, y'all? You're looking at 2 to 5 years for that shell to break down and release that calcium. I don't know about you. That's okay for future garden plantings. But when I'm working in my garden, I want my plants this year to get calcium in them. And that fix is not hard to do, y'all. Alright, hold on. Firm believer of waste not, want not. Okay. Now, what I do, and I've already burnt through one, but this has been over like 5-year process, y'all. Get you a coffee grinder. Thrift store, buy it new, but dedicate it for only making powdered eggshells or bone meal. Now, I do have a video already telling you how to make your own homemade bone meal. I will have both videos in the description box, well, links for both videos in the description box below. It's simple, y'all, to make your own calcium powder. Very simple. And like I said, I like my plants this year to get the nutrients, not 2 to 5 years down the road plants getting the nutrients. Now, the 5-year mark is for soils that don't break down fast or don't have a whole lot of natural, like compost and manure and, you know, all that good stuff you're supposed to have in your ground. And this also goes for raised beds as well. Grow bags, containers. And like I said, you want to make sure that your shells are dry as can be. Now, want to wait a little bit because there's dust in here from the eggshells being broke down. You do not want to breathe that in at all. This is a time, if you wanted to, it would be fine to wear a mask. See what I'm saying? You do not want to breathe that in at all. And if you notice, you'll see some fall on your counter. You're going to want to make sure you don't waste anything and get that little bit of dust up too. And as you notice, it's going to take a while to get all these eggs done. But it's worth it because guess what? I know where this calcium comes from. Sometimes it takes a little while. Patience is a virtue. And I said you want to make sure your eggshells are completely dry because it's going to get on your hands. I have a funnel for my jar. There's a good chance all these eggshells are going to come close to possibly filling this jar up by about 3/4, maybe full. I'm hoping for a full jar. We're going to see. And you see that beautiful powder? Pure calcium powder. Now, another thing. None of these eggs are boiled eggs because you lose quite a bit of calcium when you boil eggs. That's when you boil the eggs, you don't want to put salt in the water because you want to save the water. The water has a lot of calcium in it. But if you add salt to your water to boil your eggs, you can't use it in your garden because that salt will kill your plants. So, like I said, all these were used to either make omelets, quiches, or back when I was going crazy, baking for Thanksgiving. And yes, I save my eggshells. I do. Let me tell you, that stinks. It stinks, y'all. Now, if you want to, you can use a fine strainer and get the little bit bigger pieces out. A little bit bigger pieces I'm not going to really worry about because there is plenty of powdered eggshell in there. Well, I'm going to keep going. But this is why I dedicate one grinder to doing eggshells and bone meal. and that's the only one I use for those. And well, I can tell by the looks of the grinder which one is it. But you definitely do not want to try to do this. Wash it out and grind coffee in, because you can't guarantee that you get all of this eggshell out. So I will bring you back as soon as I get all these eggs done. I'll see you here in a bit. Okay, I am done. I ended up with a little bit less than I figured, but I went back through and ground it some more. I ended up with 4 cups of pure calcium powder. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? There's a few bigger pieces in there. Not real big, but a lot of that's calcium powder. Now, don't use a new lid. You can recycle lids, used lids for other things after you've canned. Wash them really good. Once you've opened them, save them back and use them for stuff like this. This is definitely not a new lid. Now, take a Sharpie marker. This isn't a Sharpie marker, but it's going to work for now, because you need to label this, because you don't want to use this in anything else. And right on there, egg shell powder. And that just looked horrible. That's close enough. I know what it is. Now, for the average gardener, this is more than enough for you. For my garden and what I grow, no, I gotta save more eggshells. But just get into a habit. Oh crap, there's a bigger piece. It's just gonna have to work. Get in a habit of having a bowl in your kitchen where you can throw your eggshells in, and once you get enough, put them on a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, and just on your lowest setting, not slowest, lowest setting of your oven, just dry them until they are dry. When that inside of the egg is completely dry, then they're done. Let them cool down. You can put them in a canister until you get a whole lot to powder up, or powder them as you go and keep them in a jar where you can keep adding to it. Now, when you go to use it, when you get ready for your peppers and tomatoes, y'all, peppers and tomatoes, definitely. A lot of other things like calcium, but especially your tomatoes and your peppers. I use a tablespoon. When I get ready to plant either the pepper or the tomato, I will work a tablespoon of this calcium powder into the hole that I've dug to plant. I add Epsom salt as well, and well, a few other things. Y'all will see that when I get ready to plant some tomatoes and some peppers. Simple, easy, organic, y'all. All natural calcium. And you know where it's come from. You know where your egg source is. Now, like I said, I will have the link in the description box below to the first eggshell video that has even more information in it, as well as how to make your own homemade bone meal. It's not hard, y'all. And especially if you're making bone stock up, save those bones out of that pot, put them on a cookie sheet with parchment paper, and let them dry in the oven, slow and low. And the bones will powder up if you've prepared the bone stock correctly. Simple, easy, you can do it. You just gotta believe in yourself and have the ingredients. And yeah, I'm starting to get my stuff in, my ducks in line to get ready to garden. You can do it. Believe in yourself and have the ingredients. Now, I will say you might want to powder your eggshells outside, not on a windy day, or you're not going to get any. But it'll keep the dust down and it'll be easy to clean up. But you don't want to waste any of it. And you don't want to breathe that dust that floats out of your coffee grinder. Now, if you don't want to do the coffee grinder, you can do a really good mixer, like a blender. But be prepared. It's best to have a glass one. It's still going to be a chance it's going to get scratched up really good. And I would dedicate that blender to just doing the eggshells and the bone meal, because you can't guarantee that you can get all of that out from around the blade. And that's why I have a dedicated coffee grinder. And that poor thing, I think, is starting to get a little dull. I hope this encourages you to start getting ready for your garden, to start saving up things that, well, might become really hard to get a hold of, y'all. And if you can make it your own, it'll be a whole lot better for you and your plants. Now, I know some people use Tums, Rolaids. Yes, that's a form of calcium too. But just remember, there's also a lot of artificial stuff in those, as well as artificial sweetener. And I don't know about y'all, but I sure don't want my plants soaking up any artificial sweetener or anything and taking a chance of that getting in the fruit. Because whatever the plants absorb in their roots go in to the tomatoes, the peppers, and whatever else you use this on. Gotta be wise, everyone. Stay safe, stay smart, stay educated. Wisdom is power, and know how to be self sufficient. Everyone, stay safe and sound. Continue to stock up your pantries with food that will sustain you. Stock up your medicine cabinet, other supplies you need, and organic garden fertilizers that will help your plants immensely. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and may you each be blessed. I'll see you soon. Y'all take care.